young people, to people under the age of 25, and certainly to people under the age of 40. If you're over the age of 40, I'm not sure that you should listen to this record. What I'm going to say might make you mad. I don't like to get people mad. I particularly don't like to get people over the age of 40 mad, because these are the people who have guns and handcuffs and prisons, a wide variety of instruments of metal with which they punish people who get them mad. Young people, for the most part, aren't so concerned with control and power. They're much more involved in having fun, being curious, exploring their sensual equipment, making adventurous explorations, making love, trying to learn what it's all about. I have personal experience which has taught me how fierce people over 40 can be with those who challenge their beliefs.
As an outward-looking teenager in 1960s suburban Auckland, I erected a huge aerial on my parents' garage to pull in supercharged AM and shortwave radio broadcasts from far away. I was too young to know what was going on, or even what life was about, but these broadcasts imprinted themselves on my developing consciousness. Before the decade was over, I had left home. Pretty soon, I found myself working in factories, and despite all the optimism about the future, I eventually came to see the past as an equally viable option. The writer, L.P. Hartley, summed it up as, "The past is a foreign country. They do things differently there." Let's go have a listen.
And now, prepared exclusively for Humble Heart by the Gypsy, here is the astrological forecast for those of you born on this date. Today, February 3rd, Aquarius, you're a born artist. Your sign rules hopes, wishes, and ambitions, and you make an excellent astrologer. And the star's destiny for you today, brother and sister, if you must travel, delay it till after tomorrow. 93 KHJ. 626 KHJ, hello, happening time of the $1 Million Weekend in Brother Hart, TCB. For Dean, are you ready for the savings that Sears Record Departments give you? Unbelievable savings that enable you to have the grooviest, most up-to-date record collection in Ball City. At Sears, you pay only $199 for monaural, $279 for stereo, and dead disc selection. All the latest releases such as Donovan's Mellow Yellow, 98.6 by Keith, Paint Me a Picture by Gary Lewis, Nancy Sinatra's Sugar, the Blues Magoos with Psychedelic Lollipop, and Standing Room Only by the TJ Brass, and of course, let's not forget Robert W. Morgan's friends and yours, the Monkees, with their fabulous new release, More of the Monkees. Now, you can afford to own every one of these albums. All you do is shop at any Sears record department. You only pay $199 for monaural, $279 for stereo. Make it on down to Sears and start your record collection today.
Doing what it should do. Flowing smoothly, quietly, efficiently, powerfully. STP oil treatment.
It's 20 minutes before 7. This is Marv Howard, KHJ 2020 News. Leaders of the U.S. Moonshot program have ordered current production to go ahead despite the flash fire that killed the 3 astronauts. At the Washington News Conference just concluded, a space agency official revealed the men died of asphyxiation in their fire-engulfed capsule after vainly struggling to escape it. He said 2 investigators have not yet determined exactly what started the fatal blaze. America's foremost authority on LSD is UCLA Professor J. Thomas Ungerleider, or is it Dr. Timothy Leary? Hear them both as Art Kevin examines the hallucination generation all day Sunday on 2020 News. The use of nutmeg to trip out is getting a play also. Roger Pro reports on that from Fresno.
Well, the nutmeg kick is here. 4 girls at a local junior high school brought several cans of the seasoning to class yesterday and sniffed instead of studied. One girl became hysterical in class. Another ran screaming from the cafeteria at lunchtime, claiming her hamburger was trying to devour her. Another girl became violently ill. School authorities say the girls tried the experiment after reading about it in a local newspaper. Nutmeg reportedly gives hallucinatory effects similar to LSD if inhaled in great quantity. In Fresno, this is Roger Pro for KHJ 2020 News.
KHJ headlines, 1-8 Mexico City. 4 newborn girls, the survivors of Mexico's first quintuplets, were rushed by ambulance to Mexico City tonight from the rude peasant hut, where they were born by candlelight on a makeshift bed of branches. The body of the 5th baby, also a girl, lay in a shoebox on the earthen floor of the hut to await burial. Doctors of the Social Security Hospital in Mexico City report the 4 surviving girls are in good condition. After their birth, the babies were placed in a wooden box hanging from the ceiling of the hut to keep them as warm as possible.
On the Firefly platform on sunny Good Street, violent hash smoker shook a chocolate machine, involved in an eating scene, smashing into neon streets in their stoners, smearing their eyes on the crazy colored goddess, listening to sounds of Mingus, mellow, fantastic. My, this I. My, this I.
Canadian English professor Marshall McLuhan struck a high note in popular thinking as the sage of media theory. He even predicted the birth of the internet and coined the term global village.
I come from a 19th century country, Canada, and this gives me a great advantage in looking at the 20th century.
The 20th century is the age of electric technology. It's the most dominant tool of our time. And reevaluate every thought and every institution you formerly took for granted.
I know exactly where the boundaries begin. Mostly they begin in the United States. So any Canadian can see what you cannot see. That is, you live in the 20th century more or less, and it becomes therefore invisible.
The electric age is changing you. It is changing your family. It is changing your neighborhood. It's changing your education. It's changing your job. What are you going to do? It's changing your government. It's changing your relationship to others. These little circuits are making our world go. The electric age is having a profound effect on us. We are in a period of fantastic change that's coming about at fantastic speed. Your life is changing dramatically, and you are numb to it. The medium of our time, electric technology, everything from the light bulb to the telephone to the computer to jets to nuclear energy, is changing everything. We are in the middle of a tremendous clash between the old and the new.
The medium does things to people, and they're always completely unaware of this.
The idea that television, computers, and the rest are just tools that we use for better or worse isn't true. The way you react to them is what's important, not what's in them or on them. How you use your eyes to see, your ears to hear, brings about new forms of human association and action.
We are re-entering the old tribal world, but this time we're going to go through the tribal dance on the tribal mirror as usual, of something that is threatening the old values and reversing the old values.
When information is brushed against information, the results are startling and effective.
XCRB, 9:30 in Los Angeles. This is 50,000 watt clear channel XCRB, Radio North America, Central Studios, Los Angeles, 1090 on your dial. Hey baby, welcome on in here to the Wolfman Jack Show for a Tuesday night. Hey, don't run away. I'm gonna give you the word right now. It's cool. Come up to the cool taste. Come up to cool. Come up to the cool taste. You never had it so cool. Take it from a guy who used to smoke hot, real hot. Some cat gave me one of the menthols, but it just didn't do it for me. Then I got together with cool, out of sight. Extra coolness makes them, and I'll stick with them. So what's the last word in coolness? Don't you know you better come up to the cool taste? Come up to cool. Come on up to the cool taste. You never had it so cool. Oh, you never had it so cool. I never tell you never had it so cool. Ooh, you never had it so cool.
In our societies, new technologies replace older technologies. Instead of maintaining a sustainable coexistence with each other, older technologies become objects of fetishized nostalgia. Light bulbs have replaced candles. Automobiles have replaced horses. The internet has displaced radio and television. Herbert Marcuse, who we will be hearing more from shortly, told us that the present society perpetuates our struggle for existence and our toil, frustration, and waste, all toward an end that can never be achieved. Waste without content. Our production of waste perpetuates the need for earning a living, the need for doing work which is already superfluous. He said this in the 1960s, and it is still news today.
WABC, AM and FM, New York. Someone said it's better to be a boss than to work like a horse for another boss. Dennison, a men's clothier, Route 22, Union, New Jersey, open from 10 a.m. till 5 the next morning, says, if you're working for a boss and feel like a horse, you buy my business. Be the boss. The other guy will be the horse. Let's wheel and deal and cut out the spiel. Is it a deal? Okay, now you're the boss and not the horse. But you work 19 hours a day, and even a truck horse wouldn't work that way. So what's the difference? Horse, boss, deal, spiel. I need money, money talks, and nobody walks. 5:55. This is Charles Garrett with news 5 minutes sooner from WABC Radio. Red China's power struggle is now reported turning into a bloody conflict, with the forces of Chairman Mao Zedong and President Liu Shaoqi pitted against each other. First accounts say that 4 top commissars and 11 subordinate officials have been purged by Mao forces. The Pentagon has confirmed that the administration will draw from the nation's strategic reserve to reach the new peak level of 525,000 men for Vietnam by next July. The strategic reserve is part of U.S. active duty forces, as distinguished from non-active reserves.
U.S. pilots hit North Vietnam with a record 197 missions yesterday, when 600 planes bombed and strafed targets from the border to an area north of Hanoi. One Air Force plane was shot down.
On the ground, in the swamps, jungles, and highlands of southern Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos, American troops tuned into Hanoi Hana on Radio Hanoi. Hana gave them some good advice.
GI, your government has abandoned you. They have ordered you to die. GI, do not trust them. Defect, GI. It is a very good idea to leave a sinking ship. They lie to you, GI. You know you cannot win this war. Your rich leaders grow richer while you die in the swamp, GI. They will give you a medal, GI, but only after you are dead. Your government lies to you every day, poor soldier. You have lost this war, GI. Your army will leave you behind. Imperialists make you fight this war, GI. They do not care about you. GI, your government has betrayed you. You will not return for you. GI, your airplanes bomb your own men. You are not safe here. The skies are dangerous, GI. They will napalm you tonight. Your pilots do not care that you are down here, GI. You cannot dig foxhole too high in, GI Joe. Your bombers will fire you. GI, your helicopters fall from the sky like broken birds. They cannot see from your airplanes, GI. They come to bomb you.
And Marcuse talked about an incipient trend toward totalitarianism in Western democracies.
Certain tendencies which I think are observable in the most advanced areas of industrial civilization. The most advanced area of industrial civilization, of course, is the United States today. But even in the United States, the tendencies to which I point are prevailing, if they are prevailing at all or not simply beginning to show themselves, only in certain advanced areas, meaning, as is well known, that there are still vast regions of underdevelopment, of poverty, even in the United States. In my opinion, a fact that totalitarian tendencies are beginning to show even in societies which are still democratic, which preserve the democratic process and institutions, which have several parties, which may even have countervailing forces. By totalitarian I mean the constellation or situation in which the private as well as public existence of man, of the individual, is controlled, is exposed to standardized, required ways of behavior, standardized imposed values, standardized imposed needs. This can be done by a private as well as by a public bureaucracy. It can be done via the perfectly democratic media of mass communication and so on. It is in a way a consequence, as the quote shows, of technical progress, which implies mass production and mass distribution. Mass production and mass distribution in turn require a considerable degree of standardization, a considerable degree of the submission of the individual to pre-given and superimposed values, ideas, aspirations, goals, and so on.
The interviewer then asked Marcuse that if society had become so standardized by technique, then how could it also allow dissent?
We have a considerable amount of dissent. We can afford this dissent because it remains completely and entirely ineffective. We can afford to have C-right mills because our society is so strong, so cohesive, so powerful that these revelations don't do it any harm. And in a sense, that is good. But in another sense, and perhaps in a deeper sense, this is very bad.
Increasingly since the 1960s, commercial radio has become more standardized, formatted, and franchised. We heard the beginnings of this at KHJ, which is today a religious broadcaster. Join me in part 2 for more from Marcuse and others as we continue our journey through 1960s radio. If you have found this video useful, then please subscribe to my channel by clicking on the icon at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And thank you for watching.
From ship to shore, radio #1.
You're listening to Radio Hauraki, top of the dial, and we're broadcasting a test transmission on 1480. We'd like to know how well you are receiving us, so drop us a line, Radio Hauraki.